This is a 50cc two-stroke Yamaha Aerox, or I suppose it was one.
It should look something like this.
Now here in the UK, as a 16-year-old, if you were lucky enough, you could ride something like this.
You'd firstly have to participate in compulsory basic training. You were then officially allowed to ride a 49cc moped or L plates.
You crazy!
And with a governed max speed of 30 miles an hour, it might not sound exciting, but let me tell you, it was pure freedom. Then of course you installed an exhaust system because you wanted to go faster. Then all of a sudden your scooter did 50 miles per hour. Well, that's what you told your mates anyway. Of course it wouldn't do 50 miles per hour, it would barely do 40. That was until now. You see, I've been wondering, could I actually make my scooter hit 50 miles per hour? In fact, wait a minute, what if I could make this scooter of mine go a lot faster than 50 miles per hour? It's going to be like a little side mission.
It'll be wicked.
You know what I mean? Just as a bit of fun. So, if you haven't understood by now, this is a little side mission, let's call it. And the idea is to tune the flipping hell out of that Yamaha Aerox engine. This should be fun. Now, before we strip the scooter down and get to work on it, I want to take a moment to thank Bike Shop for supporting Bikes of Rye. That's because Bike Shop can provide cover on all sorts of bikes, from the standard through to the unusual circumstances. When it comes to riding multiple project bikes on his channel, Bikeshaw has got me well covered. Bikeshaw will tailor the quote to the individual's needs, and he also offer multi-bike policies too. Whether you ride a scooter, adventure bike, sports bike, etc., if you need cover for a day or a year, Bikeshaw can cater to your personal requirements. I cannot wait to rebuild this and then ride it, knowing that Bikeshaw has me well covered. I highly recommend you give Bikeshaw a call to see what they can do for you. So in the meantime, how about you sit back, relax, and enjoy this upload. Thank you, Bikeshaw. Okay, so while I wait for that frame to be powder coated, I'm just sat here having a look online at what tuning upgrades are available to buy. It seems a bit of a minefield, but there is plenty of choice. From what I've been reading though, we have to be careful at what we do buy because not all tuning upgrades complement each other. So, I need to do a little bit of research. Looks like we've had a delivery, a very large delivery. But before we get into all of the goodies inside this box, first of all, we must tear down the old engine. All right, so let's have a look at what we're working with before we go ahead and strip the engine down into tiny little pieces. That's the airbox, carburetor, dinky little thing. That's the inlet, obviously. And then we've got the head cylinder. Not an awful lot to it, really, is there? Water pump on that side, and we're going to have a crank as well, and then a belt drive system. Now, also, I must stipulate, I'm still a beginner. So I've never rebuilt a scooter engine, but there doesn't look like an awful lot to it. So it should be quite straightforward. And as always, I'll learn as I go, which is what I love. The engine is almost completely stripped down. However, there are a few little things I'm struggling with. Namely, the centre stand. Also, this bearing, yeah. Okay, so while some of those parts are off getting vapor blasted, should we unbox all of these goodies? Okay. One Stage 6 70cc head cylinder. Oh, that is so light. Quite obvious, right? Going to a 70cc kit should help boost power significantly. Now the crankshaft, it'll up the compression, and also this is capable of spinning to the likes of like 16,000 RPM. I'm not sure the scooter will rev quite that high. It might get close to it. Of course, if it does get close to it, then we know we've got the crankshaft to take the punishment. Look at that. This is a 28mm carb, and this carb should complement the other parts in this tuning process. Now that's an air filter. I'm not going to bother unboxing it, but you can see another big upgrade. Now the gear set is to increase top speed. We don't want to be maxing out at like 45, 50 miles an hour. This scooter should be capable of quite a lot more. So the gear set is crucial. If you're upgrading everything else, then the variator is going to need CM2 as well. Oh, that is so light. It's so light. I can't believe how light that is. Look. This Yasuni exhaust system is for high performance engines. Now it's not really for road use, it's more for track use, but of course we're trying to go for max power. An exhaust system can alter how your engine performs, especially with a two-stroke. It can alter it massively. So hopefully this exhaust system that I've chosen will go very well with the rest of the kit. Only time will tell. Very happy with all of these parts. Very happy. One powder coated frame. And down here I've also got vapor blasted cases. And these parts of the engine, well, as we can see, they've been painted in a lovely gloss black protective paint. Looking very, very shiny. Right, let's rebuild this engine. I am so excited. All right, so the engine is coming together quite nicely. However, I want to pause on fully rebuilding it just yet because, well, what I need to do now is take this frame and start putting this back together again because I want to mount that engine into the frame. And then when the engine is back in the frame, I can then go ahead and torque up some of the nuts and bolts, which are still yet to be done. Yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely, and I'm enjoying myself. That's the main thing, and I cannot wait to fire this little beauty up because I think it's gonna sound good, real good, and I think it's gonna be a little rocket once we're finished. Cannot wait. Now, I did pause on the rebuild and I've gone away and come back to this scooter because I didn't like where the carb was sitting, and then I've got this massive air filter. And I bought this air filter, it actually said this is a small. How is that small? It's just huge. What we've got here is a beefed up modified swing arm. So with a swing arm like that, the carb plonked there, and then the air filter obviously here like this. Okie dokie, I reckon now the Aerox is almost ready. Or is it ready? I think it is ready for a first start. It's been a long one, this one. Absolutely shattered. Trying to get this all in one upload. But look at it. It's looking so cool, isn't it? Let's try and start it. Let's see if it runs. Got to put some oil in the transmission first. And of course, because it's a two-stroke, we've got some two-stroke oil to mix with the premium unleaded. Slap this in there. Give it a shake, 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 all around. Also, I'm thinking we should plug the battery in, shouldn't we? A brand new battery, and it probably needs that to get running. Or does it? I'm not quite sure, but let's hook it up anyway, just to be sure. Oh, I'm excited! I'm excited! We've fed it fuel. New carburetor, of course. I don't know how to... Well, there is a choke cable, but it does have a manual choke on it anyway. So we'll try and start it without the choke first. Where's the key, actually? What have I done with the key? Key. Fuel tap on. We've got premium unleaded mixed with a two-stroke oil, filling up that float bowl, and it's looking positive. Well then, let's kickstart it. Let's see what happens. Choke. So what I've just done is earthed the coil to the battery, to the negative. Give it another go. That went to start. That went to start, mate. Oh. It's gonna run, it's gonna run. Oh, 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 oh. Well, it runs. It runs. Doesn't sound quite right though. Smells glorious, must say. It's completely out of tune. All needs setting up. And now that I've installed its fairing, check this out. So what do you reckon then? We started with an absolute hunk of junk and it's turned out okay. It's still a little rough around the edges, I'll be honest. However, all I'm really worried about is how much does this scooter produce? And that's gonna be in a future upload because we're gonna take the scooter, get it all set up on a rolling road, and it should produce 20 horsepower. It started with 3, should produce 20, which is going to be absolutely ridiculous for what was a 50cc scooter. It'll be so funny once we get it running on the road. So anyway, I'm going to end this one here. Thank you all so very much for watching. See you later.